Welcome back. Cooking like Medea. How about that? I'm trying something different. So if you are on, make sure you post a comment so that I can talk back to you. As I promised, I wanted to give you everything you needed for your yeast rolls. So I posted the ingredients. Let me know that you can see them. But let's call roll to the house. If you are watching this, go ahead and subscribe to my YouTube channel. That's going to be Cooking Like Medea. And you can see it down there. If you have not already. If you have, thank you so much. It's time to get started, right? So I had you get some ingredients. And I'm sure most of you were like, I need more than just this. Well, actually, you don't need more than just this. This is all that you're going to need to do what we need to do. I got the okay from the mothers down to the church that I grew up with, Progressive Baptist Church. Shout out to my old progressive family. Major shout out to the one who took me under their wing. It was a few of them down there. The one that is yet remaining is Barbara Jean Lee. Yeah, she got me even deeper in this. If I want to go back some more, I would mention Miss Stovall. When I was working at the senior building across the street from the building, from the church, it was so many people in there, including Thomasine Millhouse. Hey, Tommy. Actually, she helped me with my dressing. Yeah, so it's just a whole lot of people. So that's what I do for you under Cooking Like Medea. So make sure that you subscribe to my YouTube channel, that you inform your friends, your neighbors, your pals, anybody that you want to assist with cooking to get that started, okay? Again, if you can hear me and you're in YouTube and you can see the chat, go ahead and chat me. But if you want to share it, reshare it, post it, or whatever, I also have a Facebook page called Cooking Like Medea, and I have a whole lot of recipes in there as well. So I have done a playlist for you all for those things that you need, and someone hit me up and said, hey, you didn't add yeast rolls to the mix. And I was like, oh, I guess I didn't. So I needed to come back and I needed to add yeast rolls to it. Now keep this in mind as well as I turn on the hot water. You can make up this dough and you don't have to use it all. You can freeze it, and when you unthaw it, you can go back and proof it up again, roll it out, and do whatever else you need to do. Okay? So make sure everyone's getting all of this good information that I've been throwing out so that we can all succeed. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to do some hot water. Not boiling hot. Just hot enough so it can activate the yeast. You can use the packets of dry yeast, or if you're like me, I'm going to take this off of me in a minute and put it onto the ingredients so you can see us as we're going. I use the bulk yeast. So I have some yeast because I bake a lot and I do a lot of bread and stuff. And shout out to everyone that purchased rolls already. They will all be finished on Friday. So a packet of yeast is the same as about 2.5 teaspoons of yeast. So there's my 1 There's my 2. I said 2.5. It's actually 2 1/4. Okay. Also, go ahead and make sure you have your butter out so it can be soft. I can turn this back off. Now let me just put this where it needs to be. Because you guys don't want to see me. You want to see the action. So let's make it happen. Oh, it's crooked. So put my yeast in the warm water and I'm going to stir it. I want to stir it so that not only it dissolves, but it also activates. You want to stir this for a few minutes. So you see that? I am making yeast rolls, Jennifer. Just yeast rolls. I know it says test there. I'll fix that. It says yeast rolls up at the top. Sorry about that. So yeah, I'm just making sure that this is all coming together like it's supposed to. Yeast rolls. Should have bubbles on the surface. And I have a few bubbles in there. So that's good. And that's what we want. No bubbles, that means the water was too hot or your yeast was too old. So as long as you got bubbles, and I have a few bubbles in there, that's what I want to see. At least you know now. So while your yeast is sitting, I'm going to place my milk, my butter, and my honey or sugar into a microwave safe cup or bowl and microwave for about 1 minute. So I'm doing a cup of milk. I don't do a lot of milk around here. So guess what? I went to Dollar Tree and bought some milk. Whole milk. Please, 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 ma'am. Please, sir. Don't use 1%, 2%, or whatever. A whole cup. All right? To that, I'm going to add 3 tablespoons of unsalted butter. Thank you, Jennifer. You just let me know that you could hear me and I can see your messages. That's what counts. Trying something different. You guys got me stepping out of the box. I love it. So now I'm going to add my honey to this and I'm going to throw it in the microwave. 2 tablespoons of honey. Or again, 2 tablespoons of sugar. I like it with honey. There's 1. And there's 2. And then I'm going to do the salt. I'm going to add the salt to this too. Of course, you know, when I finish all of this, I'm going to have the recipe out here. Three-fourths of a teaspoon of table salt. So not my favorite salt, but just regular table salt. Three-fourths of a teaspoon. That means 3 of the 1/4 teaspoons will give you 3/4 of a teaspoon, guys. Don't get nervous about measurements. Just think it through. And then I'm going to put that in the microwave. I have this industrial microwave, so let me tell you, it gets real special around here. So while we're doing that, I'm going to add the yeast along with an egg and 1 of the cups of flour. Okay, so you can see it's all good. Those bubbles are important in that yeast because it'll tell you, like I said, if you did something wrong or if you had your water too, well, that's still part of doing something wrong. If you had your water too hot, if your yeast was no good, maybe it's 10 years old, it's going to tell you everything that you need to know about that yeast and whether or not it's going to fly. So I'm going to put my dough hook on my mixer. Put my egg in there. I forgot my spatula. Okay. I'm just mixing that together, and I'm going to add 1 cup of flour. I'm going to even it off. I'm going to throw it in. I'm just going to start it at about a 2. And it's just starting to mix for it. Does not need to look perfect like cake flour. It's dough. It's not supposed to look like cake flour. I'm letting my milk cool. I do not want to add hot milk to my mixture. And again, getting everything off of those sides. Now we won't be able to stay and do the whole thing here. We'll come back in spurts. But it'll be there. And we're using a hook instead of using either this or the beater because you want it to form that dough. And it's already beginning to make me a dough ball. Looking pretty good too. Making a whole ball. So you can use, for kneading your dough and stuff, you can use a regular cutting board, or again, you can be a little extra and you can use the silicone mat. I like the mat. All right, now I'm gonna add the water. I'm sorry, the milk mixture. Not all of it, just half of it. I still like to blend nicely. And then I'm gonna add another cup of the flour. Gonna bring it down just a little bit more so you all can see it. I'm gonna do it a little bit more. That might be as far as we can go today. It's okay, we'll make it work. All right, let's put some more in there. And here's my mat. So you can see what my silicone mat is. So when I make my tea cakes and stuff, okay? You got it? You see it? Good. So I'm gonna add some more flour to this. All right. And so it's making up our good dough. Again, I'm going to go back. I'm going to get all this stuff off the sides because we measured that. So all of that matters. And you can see it's doing what we need. And we'll have one more cup of flour. And then we'll be ready to start the next process. This is so soothing to me. I know I'm not the only one that learned how to cook in church. Now, again, most of my talks, you've heard me talk about my grandmothers and her sisters, but these rolls came from the basement of the church. Just in case you're wondering, this silicone mat will help you in measuring out if you're measuring out something in particular, so it can be to the proper size that you want it. I know. I have so many gadgets. Here's my newfangled rolling pin. Did you know they had them like this? Where based on the colors, you can decide how thick you want something to be. Isn't that great? Ah, they didn't come up. Y'all see it's making the ball? All right. Final cup of all-purpose flour. Along with the rest of my milk mixture. Tell me how y'all like doing it this way. You think it's better like this? Y'all, I'll be out here just trying stuff, you know? Want to make sure you guys get the proper whatever. And the ball is happening. It's like magic. Now for this, you don't want to overdo. And when we get ready to knead it, add some flour here. Not a lot, just so it won't be sticky. Because when I take this out, this will be sticky. Any questions so far, guys? You got me live. You might as well pick away and ask me these questions. Nothing? Hopefully I'm making it make sense for you. Almost finished. And you can see now, we got a whole knot there. Oh, no worries. So in the milk mixture, there was 3 tablespoons of butter. There was 3/4 teaspoon of salt. There was 2 teaspoons of honey or sugar, whatever your preference is. I like honey. I found that it works well. So this is a bit sticky coming out. That's why there is some flour over here. I probably should have put the flour in the actual mixing bowl, but that's okay. I can make it happen. More flour it has, the less rubbery it is. You guys see that? This is your roll dough. And the more I knead it, move it around, the more less sticky it becomes. Yeah, see that? So after we put that stuff in the mixture, in milk mixture, we put it in the microwave for a minute, but we did not let it go into the flour mixture until it had cooled down. Baking is like a science, right? So you got to make sure that everything is doing what you need it to do. I see y'all watching. And I appreciate you. Again, if you have not already, make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel. We talked about that in the beginning. Do not be afraid. There are all kinds of recipes out there. That's what this is for. Let me just wash my hands, get some of this dough off of that. I do my level best to make sure that I show you all the simple way of doing anything. Simple just makes it a little bit better. Anybody baked bread before? I figured it was the holidays, time to turn it up a notch. Now, some people, like I said, they like to knead it in the mixer, some by hand. I think I prefer by hand just a little bit more. The more you knead it, the smoother it gets. So whether you're doing it from here or by hand, you can see the difference, because there is a difference. If it's still too sticky for you, go ahead and add some more flour. What we're looking for is not only smoothness, but we're also looking for it to spring back. And baking, especially baking bread, it changes based on what the humidity is like. So in Illinois, we know right now y'all a little chilly. May not have none. That's okay. We love you just the same. You see how that looks? Should be soft. We're going to form the dough into a roll. Like I said, I learned from the old people, but you could have just as easily kept doing it in here. But I had to pay homage to them and show how that looks. But watch, not too much more. The recipe calls for you to knead your dough for about 6 to 8 minutes. Because we've done a few minutes by hand, I just wanted to see that you don't have to do both. And we have a full forming ball over here. That's good. That's what we want. It's a little sticky at the bottom. So again, I'm going to add a little bit more flour. The next part is going to require, I like using a white towel. I have towels that are specifically for when I have to cook. Because what we're going to do is I have another bowl here. And we're going to put this in the bowl. We're going to proof this. Okay? Proofing means we're simply going to put this in a clean bowl. Some people say it should be stainless steel. I'm here to tell you that it could be stainless steel or plastic. It does not make a difference. Still a little sticky, but that's okay. It's not bad. And then we're going to cover it. And it should be in a dry, warm place. See that? That's the beginning of your goodness. I'm going to cover it. Some people put it on top of the stove for proofing. Some people put it next to the fireplace. I've seen that before because it's warm, it's dry, but it's doing what it needs to do. How many of you guys out there have ever attempted rolls? What were the issues that you had? Do you know? What were your issues? I can tell you mine. My first issue was that I did not pay attention to the expiration date on the yeast. So I had some expired yeast. I had just bought it in the store, but it was expired. That was a bummer. Some other experiences. Didn't need it enough, needed it too much. You just got to catch your rhythm. Anybody cooking along with me? No? Okay. I just wanted to give you everything that you're going to possibly need for Thanksgiving. I'll probably go live Thanksgiving Day. but I want to make sure that everyone is trying things at least once. You know? Make sense? All right. So, just that quickly, you think it's proofed up any? It's already starting. It's going to triple in size before this is all done. Okay? So, remember, if you're not already, make sure you are following Cooking Like Medea on YouTube. I'm going to come back and show you the proofing and how we cut it up, the balls, roll them out, put them in our pan, proof one more time, and then put them in the oven to bake. Okay? Thank you all for joining. It's another episode of Cooking Like Medea.